you can use. But if you have more focus, if you know exactly what you want to achieve and you direct your actions based on that, you'll achieve so much more. So I think we network for three main reasons. Those reasons are to become better known, become better equipped, and become better connected. Better known, better equipped, and better connected. And I'm going to talk through each of those three areas. And what I want you to do is think of it in two ways as appropriate to your business. Number one is, how can the next day or 2 days help me become better known, better equipped, or better connected? And so what do I need to do while I'm here to maximise that potential? And then, where do I need to improve in my business to become better known, better equipped, and better connected? And how can other people help me do that? And what I'll leave you with at the end of the session is 5 questions to ask yourself to help you just focus that in and start putting some kind of networking strategy into place. So why don't we start and look at why we network and becoming better known. I'm sure you're all aware of the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Everyone come across that? It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's what networking is all about, isn't it? It's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not. That's the attitude of connecting with lots of people, because look, I know all these people. But unless you've got a real relationship with them, unless there's some depth to that, where's the value? I'd like to spin that phrase on its head for you. I'd like you to think about it in a different way from now. It's not what you know or who you know, it's who knows you and what they say about you that makes all the difference. It's who knows you and what they say about you. So who do you want to know you? Who do you want to be talking about you? And who do you want them to be talking to when they're having that conversation? Have you thought through the conversations people will have about you when you're not in the room? Because if you want to network to raise your profile, raising your profile is about people talking about you. I'm hoping that some of you are here today because you know my name from whichever field. Maybe you've seen people talk about me on Twitter or talk about this talk. Maybe you've heard about me from friends. That's come through profile building. And that's a way of attracting people towards you. What are you doing to do that? But it's not, I don't want people to come and see me because they say I'm a good speaker. I don't want people to come and see me because they say I'm entertaining. I want people to come and see me because they will go away from having done so with clear ideas that they can implement in their business that are going to improve it. That's what I want people to say about me. Have you really thought it through what you want others to say about you when you're not here? You see, if you don't, what you do is you rush around. And you rush around the event and you meet as many people as possible. And you go into what I call the networking dance. And I'll talk about that a little bit more tonight, but I'll give you a sneak preview. The networking dance goes like this. You meet someone at a networking event. You shake hands. You might exchange cards straight away, even though there's no reason to at that stage, and the card doesn't mean much at that stage. And then one of you will ask the other a question. What's that question? What do you do? What do you do is the networking equivalent of do you come here often? People don't care. I'm sorry, most people don't care. I know someone in the room will disagree with me and say, I always care, I'm genuinely interested. That's possible, but you are in the minority. Most people are networking for their own means, their own ends, and they go into this dance. What do you do? And the idea is that they ask what do you do, and the other person replies with their elevator pitch. They're perfectly prepared, presented 30 seconds or 60 seconds to tell you what they do, even though you don't care. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of a worse thing to do than to do all that planning and preparation and have it fall on deaf ears. And then what happens is the person who asks the question, first of all, is waiting patiently for the other person to then finish their elevator pitch that they're not interested in, and then say, and what do you do? So they give their elevator pitch, even though they should have worked out the other person won't be interested either because they weren't interested in theirs. And then they shake hands and say, nice to meet you, and walk off and meet with someone else. Now, if you network like that, and if you go through the next 2 days networking like that, how effective do you think SafeWorld is going to be for you? How effective do you think your networking is going to be for you in raising your profile? What do you think other people are going to say about you? The answer in that case is probably not a lot. I picked this up when I was at an event at the New Zealand Embassy for the Australian New Zealand Chamber of Commerce a few years ago, quite a few years ago, and I went up to someone and I didn't know any better, and I said, "What do you do?" And he gave me his elevator pitch. And I stood there, silently, politely, waiting. And he said, "Nice to meet you," and walked off. And I thought, "You rude," well, I won't say exactly what I thought. But then I thought, well, actually, thank you very much, because you just saved me wasting 2 minutes of my life, telling someone who's not interested in what I do. So instead, if you want to focus on what people say about you, then work out who you talk about, and who you talk about in positive terms, and why do you talk about them in those terms? Do you talk about the people who have the most impressive elevator pitch? Or do you talk about the people with whom you have a rapport? Do you talk about the people you like? Do you talk about the people you've built a relationship with? Do you talk about the people you trust? I'm guessing it's more of the latter than just the people you meet and who impressed you with an elevator pitch. So when you're networking to build your profile, your focus needs to be on what do I want people to say about me and how can I inspire them to go out and talk about me. And that's something I'm going to talk more about tomorrow, how you inspire people to be your champions, to go out and talk about you. Social media, social networks, another key area about networking to become better known. I use Twitter very actively. I have a Facebook page as well. I have a group on LinkedIn. I don't expect direct business from any of those. Occasionally it comes, but that's not my goal. My goal is to raise my profile. If I write a blog, and it's an interesting, good blog, so it's not every blog, but they're good ones, and I tweet them, and people like them, they read them, and they want to share them, they will share them with their network. That gets me better known. If I post a question on LinkedIn, I'm doing a study for a client at the moment who have a collection, they're a collection of women's networks, and they want to encourage more men to come along to their meetings. So I posted a question on LinkedIn about should men be encouraged to go to women's networks, and if so, how can women's networks encourage them to come along, and how should they participate? I'm getting so many contributions to that. Each time someone is told about that question, sees that question, contributes to that question, I'm raising my profile. So you can use social media intelligently to raise your profile and to educate people about what you do. But you still have to build that relationship first. You still have to get people to want to share that, not just because they're interested in the content, but because they like you. So if you're networking to raise your profile over the next 2 days, here's my advice, is relax, enjoy yourself, find things in common with people. There's going to be a networking event at the end of the day today, and I'm going to be opening that up. And my advice to everyone is going to be, first of all, don't ask, what do you do? But instead, share some of the interesting things you've learned today. Talk about some of the people you've met today. Talk about what you're going to do in your business, because that could provoke an interesting conversation, because it's something you've got in common. And do that throughout the whole 2 days, not just in that session. And then, with the people with whom you strike a rapport, you find that you've got things in common. You find them interesting. Ask them which social networks they're on. Can you follow them on Twitter? Can you connect with them on LinkedIn? Be aware that people use different networks in different ways, so respect it if they say not on that network, but maybe on that one. I won't connect with just anyone on LinkedIn, for example, because of the way I use it. But I will follow them on Twitter, or I'll connect on Plateau or another network. But find out where they are. That's a great way to stay in touch with people, and make sure you follow up as well. Make sure you stay in touch. The worst thing you can do is go away with a stack of business cards from good conversations and never follow up with those people, because you have just wasted your time. But that's not the only reason that you've come here today and tomorrow. And the next reason I talked about for networking is to become better equipped. We all need to develop as business people. I said earlier that I've got skills that you lack, I've got strengths that you lack, and vice versa. I can learn from you, you can learn from me. I've been networking for about 12 years now, and I have learned more in that time just by talking to a range of different people from a range of different industries, a range of different backgrounds, with a range of different challenges than I ever learned at school, university, training courses, any previous.